Hi, I'm Kit Cassingham, founder of and Chief Energizing Officer at Live in Focused Energy. So this is my second attempt tonight to do this stream. I did the first one, I just evidently didn't save it properly, and for people who want to come by and see it later, I thought it was important for them to be able to do so. So here I am again. I hope that some of you will come back, and I see that my Yowly cat may join us. Yep, there she is. So today we're going to talk about habits and routines. We all have habits and routines. Come on, quit helping so much. We just tend to not be mindful about them. Lots of things we do through the day are just mindless activity, mindless routines. So I want to talk about making them intentional, because that is what moves us forward towards our goals and our habits, towards being more of who we can be, which is a lot of what high performance living is about, living more into who we can be and want to be. So let's talk about how we establish new habits. And I like to use triggers, in the cat's back. Silly girl. Do you guys get help like this from your pets, your associates, your office mates? Oh, goodness. So I'm going to use some of my own personal examples of how I have used triggers to chain together new habits with old habits to create routines that work for me. I brushed my teeth every morning all of my life. And when I started wearing contacts, it was real easy to chain that with brushing my teeth. And after a while it didn't matter which came first, because they both happened in the morning, because they needed to happen before I went out into my day. I wore contacts for 40 years. It's a well-established, mindless routine. When I quit wearing contacts, I forgot to brush my teeth some mornings. Fortunately, not many mornings. And stop it. This is going to be an entertaining video. The cats had vaccinations today, so they're sad and unhappy, but we'll see if she'll leave me alone now. Alright, so I then quit wearing contacts and had to find a new ritual to get my teeth brushed in the morning. And that happened okay. It'd been a long enough lifetime habit that it didn't take too long to brush my teeth, even though I didn't have to put my contacts in. And the same thing happened at night. I didn't take my contacts out, so I wasn't brushing my teeth at night. But my dentist reminded me that, as John pointed out, that I forget exactly how he put it, but something about you want to brush your teeth to be fine. But my dentist says, you only have to brush the teeth you want to keep. And I want to keep them all, and as I pointed out to John, I'm going to live to be 150. And I don't want to be an old hag at the young old age of 100. Young old age? Anyway. So, yeah, I brushed my teeth. But the dentist wanted me to floss, and I decided that flossing at night after my last meal made a lot of good sense. But how to establish that as a new habit? Easy! I distribute my vitamins for the next day at night. So I distribute my vitamins, floss my teeth, brush them real quick with my mouthwash, and then off I go. Now, I'm not trying to teach you how to do my routine, just letting you know that I established a new habit by chaining it to an old habit. So now I have a much healthier nighttime routine. Next is to hook my nighttime meditation to that, so that I have an even better routine. When I decided to do my isometrics, my stretches in the morning, to remind myself of that, even though I had the chart leaning against the mirror and right there in plain sight, I had to use the trigger of brushing my teeth to chain the new habit of my isometrics so they would get done every day. And I'm really good about doing it. Brush the teeth, do the isometrics, and then off to the day. I do struggle with doing the isometrics when I travel. I'm still brushing my teeth in the morning, but I either have to dash off to the meeting or the class, I have to be quiet because Randy's sleeping. And no, I don't make noise when I do isometrics, but to get my steps in, I do pace. And I don't want to wake Randy up with my pacing. But anyway, I'm good about doing isometrics in the morning most of the time. This morning, I didn't feel like doing them. But I knew I was going to be talking to you about habits and routines, and I had to honor my commitment to myself and be a role model to you to not let myself off the hook just because I didn't want to. I did them, and I just love starting the day. I'm so much more limber, and that gets my blood going in a way that my cat stretches in the morning don't. So my routine is wake up, do my gratitude, brush my teeth, do my isometrics. Love it. It works well for me. So another way to establish some routines, I've heard the story of, I don't happen to know this woman, but a woman would drop her daughter off at school, drive right past the health food store on her way to yoga, intending to stop in, but forgetting to. Maybe it was a block out of her way or something, but she did finally make the connection of drop the daughter off at school, drive to the health food store, go to yoga. So she was getting healthier food into her diet by chaining a series of events together to make one beautiful morning routine, a mindful routine. You can find ways of creating habits, chaining them together for routines the same sort of way. Be intentional. So there's another way that I have come up with tricks to help me establish habits. My friend John, who was on the earlier program, I see he's not here now, but that's okay. His suggestions and questions and challenges are, he said, what about an accountability partner? That can be a really good tool or tip for some habits, but some habits you just have to be accountable for on your own. And I teased him and I said, John, I don't want you calling me at 6:30 in the morning to remind me to do my stretches. And I don't want you calling me at 10 o'clock at night to make sure I've flossed my teeth. I'll keep them, I'll take care of them, but that's not where you can be accountable for me. There are other ways, and maybe we'll talk about that later, where we can be accountable to each other for some things that we're wanting to do. I do use my time management tool with lists to help remind me of things I want to do and the habits I want to form. For example, I use my calendar. I do my weight training, my core training 3 times a week, and that's just infrequent enough that the calendar reminders are very helpful. That comes in handy. And Susan chimed in with sticky note reminders, can be very helpful. And that reminds me that I said earlier that I know starting new habits, keeping them refreshed, can be a challenge in our lives. I know that from my own experience. I know that from talking to my friends and working with my clients. So the things I want to share with you are things that have worked for me, for my friends, and for my clients. Maybe they'll work for you too. So alarms, accountability partners, notes, sticky notes. I have notes scattered around my phone, so when I pop up an app, there might be another reminder of a habit I want to do. There's another technique I use that helps me trigger new behavior. When I quit drinking alcohol, and I'd be with friends and they'd order wine with dinner or cocktails afterward, I wasn't joining them, but I wanted to join in the fun of the drinking. They would order a drink, I would order a club soda with lime. It wasn't the alcohol I wanted to keep up with, it's just the drinking part, and that worked really well for me. So if others order a cocktail, then I'll order a club soda with lime. Same went with ordering dessert when I have tried to give up sugar. Now I finally have decided I'm not going to give it up 100%. I will allow myself some dessert, some sugar once in a while so that I don't feel totally deprived, but I know what it does to my brain fog, so I don't want to do it very often. But anyway, when friends order dessert after dinner, I order a coffee or a tea. And it's become such a habit that sometimes I'm the first one to place my dessert order of coffee. It works really well. Years ago, when I gave up grains the first time, spaghetti was the lunch menu. My solution was spaghetti sauce on top of salad. Big heaping plate of salad and the spaghetti sauce on top. I really liked it. Spaghetti sauce makes a good salad dressing. And I know there's probably sugar in the spaghetti sauce, but that's another issue for another time. I had chicken saltimbocca at our new Italian restaurant a couple weeks ago. The waitress was horrified that I didn't want noodles and wanted the saltimbocca on top of my salad. She said, "Don't you mean beside?" And I said, "Nope, right on top." She brought it to me that way, and when she saw my delight, she knew that it was an okay thing for her to have done, that it wasn't a mistake. And that is my solution. If spaghetti is the meal, then on top of my salad, the sauce goes. Pesto sauce is very good on salad, as is tomato sauce and marinara sauce, everything else. But anyway, okay, so you're setting new habits. You're clear about what you want to do and why. You know when you're going to tuck it into your day. You know that you're going to use triggers. You know that you're going to possibly use accountability partners. You know that you can use notes, be they sticky notes or alarms in your phone, notes tucked around in various apps in your phone, on your calendar, on your computer. Then you can also use if this, then that. All very lovely ways of chaining new habits to old habits, or a series of old habits to make a whole new, powerful routine. Remember, we're moving forward. We're moving more into who our best self can be. And that's what high performance living is partially about. Always striving to live more into who we can be, who we want to be. Now, there is another bonus with having habits. If you break them for some reason, your memory cells will chime in, click in and say, something's missing here. You need to do something different or in addition to. Example, last year I took the Brain Warriors Way class. It was a 6-month-long class. We met every Wednesday night. Loved the class. If you ever have a chance to take it, you owe it to yourself to do it. But anyway, in August, they introduced me to Tana's core building, strength building exercises. She's a black belt at least once, if not twice, in some various routines. And this is a routine that she does. So she taught us the 5 moves that she does to build her core. And I started doing them. And when I would do the occasional weighted backpack test for my walks for my Camino, I could tell each time I did it, I was a little stronger than the previous time. And I gave credit to those core exercises. I kind of fell apart in January. I don't know if it was delayed depression from Mom's death in November, if it was from frustration and still not quite getting my message right to you all about what high performance living is and better ways to be the better you. But I just I quit doing my newsletter, I quit doing my core training, at least I got real inconsistent with it, and the trick of, okay, you don't want to, but do it anyway, didn't work for me. So I gave myself permission to take a break, and I took a break for a couple of months. With the office move this month, I decided I've got new environment, new routines, or old new routines are welcome. So yesterday I did my very first strength building, core building exercise. That might have been my second one, but anyway, I kept thinking, I'm missing something. I used to do this, something else, and then this. Well, okay, I can't remember that. So I did 4, thinking there was a 5th that I was missing. This morning I woke up thinking, I bet I know where those instructions are, the little notes of the things to do and how many reps to do each time. And yes, I found them. They hadn't gotten moved. They were right where I'd left them. So when I do my next core training, I believe tomorrow, I'll be able to do all 5 moves. So I loved it that having had a habit, even taking a break, the little memory cells, gray cells as Poirot used to call them, or does call them, kicked in and told me, your routine's not quite right, good for you for doing your habit, celebrate the partial wins even as much as you do the full wins. So habits really can be helpful in furthering your goals to be more of who you want to be, who you are. So John and Susan, thank you for all your comments, questions, challenges of my first attempt. And thank you all for being here now. My presentation tomorrow is going to be about moving. Moving more, the whys, the hows. So check in tomorrow. Again, I will let you know what time I'm going to be doing that. For now, I'll bid you adieu. That is all I'll talk about for habits and routines tonight. This is Kit Cassingham, founder of and Chief Energizing Officer at Live in Focused Energy. Have a great evening. I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night.